Welcome to Inside the Lines with Coach Heather Dyche. I'm your host, Kurt Esser. If you caught last week's show, you know that Coach Dyche really wants us to involve our staff and our seniors. So this week's special guest is Director of Operations, Brad Keller. Welcome to the show, Brad. Happy to have you here.
Happy to be here, Kurt.
And later in the show, as I mentioned, we'll have Madison, senior forward Madison Ogwin. Welcome, and tell fans of what a Director of Operations does.
So it's a couple of things. So it's not an official coach title. I do a lot of the hotels, travel, restaurants, making sure they get their meals, everything and anything beyond the coaching realm.
Sure.
I let Heather, Carly, Missy, and Travis kind of handle all that stuff. I kind of handle all the back end work to make sure everything operates clearly and, you know, a lot
of the thankless jobs. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And a trip like this last weekend up into Big Ten country, you've got a flight up to Minnesota, a flight over to Michigan State, and a flight back home, hotels, transportation, meals. That's crazy. Isn't it?
Yeah. It was interesting because we did fly to Denver first and then connected our flight to Minnesota. And then we had a catered meal to the hotel when we arrived on Thursday, so that was nice. The girls could just stay in the hotel, get their homework done, and have the meals brought to them rather than going out and eating. So it's just kind of making sure to kind of have both things going where they can go out and eat as a team, and also we get them gathered as a team in the hotel.
Sure. And we go to Michigan State, and that just happens to be one of the biggest home football games for the Spartans in many years. They were hosted Oregon. And you guys had a little bit of hotel issues, didn't you?
Yeah. So, I mean, they had booked that place up a couple, 3-4 months in advance. East Lansing was just all booked up. So we actually stayed in Livonia, which was about an hour away. But it was cool. I mean, just to see kind of the atmosphere over there. College game day was there. Just seeing people go in and out of the airport representing the Spartans, the Ducks. It was definitely a cool little atmosphere to see.
So you told fans a little bit about what an operations person does. Tell the fans about you, where you came from, your background, and your soccer background.
Yeah, so I'm from Scottsdale, Arizona. I born and raised there, played for Sereno Soccer Club growing up from the age of 5 all the way till 17. I got a scholarship offer to play at University of Washington up in Seattle. Played there all 4 years. Definitely a little bit different weather than Arizona. Kind of 180 of heat to rain.
Good to be back in the desert. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Nice dry heat. After that, I went down to Mexico to try to play for about 7 months. Did a couple of trials with some teams out there. Then once I completed that, just nothing kind of panned out for me. Came back home. Started working with Sereno Soccer Club again as a coach. Had a day job as like an IT staffing coordinator, and then kind of got more involved in coaching, picked up 2 or 3 more teams, put my hat in the ring for coaching high school girls, got hired as a high school girls coach at a local high school in Scottsdale, and then after that had 3 boys teams and a high school girls team. Wanted to get in the college game. So
is that the long-term goal, is to be a college coach?
Yeah, for sure. And I'd spoken to Leslie Gallimore, who's very good friends with Heather, and actually Missy as well. Missy had worked up at UW when I was playing there. So it's kind of a cool little tie in the world of how people know each other.
Sure.
So contacted her. She put me in touch with Heather. I was coaching high school at the time, and it was funny. I spoke to Heather on the phone. We were just about ready to play our section championship game, and Heather's like, "Well, if you'd like to come out here, like, it's all yours. Just let me know." I was like, "Well, I'm gonna have to let you know a little bit. I got a game to coach, so I'll call you tomorrow."
Got to have your priorities. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So it was cool. Heather's an awesome individual, and her demeanor on the field and the way she interacts with the girls is definitely something to look up to and kind of take off as my own and kind of build it from there.
Very good. Back to the operations part. What's a rewarding part and what's a challenging part of the job?
The challenging part is just making sure everything is in line, but we all know nothing is all going to go seamless as possible. I mean, for instance, a plane gets delayed or dinners don't get there on time, some orders, hotels don't get booked properly. there's always something that could go wrong, so you just want to make sure you have everything. Carly and I work pretty closely together on that, making sure we have a binder with stuff together on reservations and everything like that. But you know, everyone helps out, and it's awesome. I mean, the staff out in Minnesota and Michigan State, they're really helpful with showers, locker rooms, game video, which is nowadays is super important to break down. And
good.
So
good. Well, it's been great having you on the show.
Yeah.
I know this weekend you've got kind of an off weekend. We got a home scrimmage, so probably not as much to do this weekend as maybe the last weekend. But appreciate you coming on, and we look forward to talking to you again in the future.
Yeah.
And great luck the rest of the season.
Thank you, Kurt.
Next up, we'll have Madison Ogwing. Welcome back to the show, Lobo fans, and welcome, Madison. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
You're a senior.
Yes, I finally made it.
Does that sink in yet?
You know, this past weekend is actually when it sunk in. Just reflecting on where I've been and got to travel for soccer. It's been a real reflecting moment, and senior year has finally sunk in, I think.
You're a California girl, right?
Yes.
Born and raised?
Yes.
So have you been to the Midwest much, Big Ten country much?
No, I've never been there, so that was my first time there. It was exciting. Way to do it.
That's one of the byproducts of being a student athlete. You get to go to places. I'm glad you didn't have to go in October or November. As somebody who grew up in the Midwest, it's terrible up there. What are some of your favorite memories over your 3 years, and hopefully you make a few more over the next couple of months?
Like I said, the travel has really been one of the most crazy fun experiences. We got to travel to North Carolina when they were ranked #1 and play them in Duke, and that was really fun. Never been to the Carolinas, so that was exciting. And I think just one of the most rewarding things is watching the team grow. You know, being able to play with this many girls, and the girls older than me, we're still in touch, you know, just making all these memories and these friendships.
Very cool, very cool. Well, what are you studying? What's next after graduation?
Yes, so I actually graduated last May with my business degree.
Big time.
Within concentration in marketing. So now I'm starting my MBA program for the Business Masters.
Good. And are you going to try to play a little bit after college, or?
I think if the opportunity arises, I would like to try to play, but also job opportunities as well.
What kind of areas are you interested in and working in?
Really, I've been fascinated with marketing. I've had a couple fun classes and a couple, you know, experiences in the marketing field, so I'd like to go into that.
Good, good. Are you going to stay in New Mexico, go back to California, or wherever it takes you?
Really, wherever it takes me.
Great attitude,
yes.
Great attitude. So this last weekend, a couple of tough 1-0 losses, but Coach Dyche said the team's really clicking. How'd you feel about the weekend? You
know, I think we've really only gone up from where we started. And so we had, you know, a not fun loss against Colorado, but we've really improved since then. And we improved from Friday to Sunday, so that was really fun to see. And I think a lot of girls are stepping up in positions. So I think starting conference in a couple weeks, we're just going to go forward. Good, good. And you've got some time off. You'll do a scrimmage on Saturday night. It will, you know, obviously a little nice break, good time to recover and rest a little bit. Yeah, that will definitely help our team. And I think just regrouping with everybody and just playing together. And then another tough road trip to Utah State and Boise State, right? Yep. So I think that'll be a good weekend to just see how we are and just start conference with a bang. Right. It seems like, you know, the first 5-7 matches have been really tough to find out who we are. We've had some really good opponents, some really maybe not as talented as we are, and now we're kind of going to hit our stride, right? Yeah, I think we're finally starting to see who we are as a team, and I think we'll definitely show that in conference. And it seems like, although it was probably not fun to travel from Minnesota to Michigan, we'll kind of mirror what we do with Utah State and Boise State. Got to take a plane in between. And so I think that was definitely a good thing to have that before we do that into conference. Very good, very good. Well, it was great having you on the show. We look forward to watching you for the rest of this year and wish you the best of luck. Thank you. Glad to be here. Thanks, Lobo fans. We'll see you next week.